A giant chess game is unfolding in the heart of the Russia-Ukraine war. But who are the players? The Kremlin, Washington, and Kiev. Behind the scenes, extraordinary moves are being made at full speed. Highly unusual cross-continental communications are taking place, and this is far more than just a simple meeting between Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and President Putin. We're talking about a web of contacts stretching across the globe, something we haven't seen before in this conflict. At this very moment, we can honestly say we are at the neck of the bottle, the most critical, narrow point of the Russia-Ukraine war. But here's the burning question. Is what we're seeing a genuine step toward peace? Or is it a brilliantly crafted play by President Putin, a strategic move to dodge sanctions while securing victory on the battlefield? Tonight, we'll unravel the threads of this complex game, piece by piece, and try to understand where the reality on the ground is leading us. Because right now, we are living through some of the most dangerous and decisive hours of this war. Before we dive into this breaking story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss the moments that could change the course of history. And if you're ready to uncover the truth behind this dangerous game, let's begin. The war right now has reached a completely unusual stage, but not on the battlefield, in the diplomatic halls, behind closed doors, inside presidential palaces. A 3-hour meeting took place between President Putin and Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump's envoy. 3 hours? Do you realize what that means? Endless back and forth, heavy negotiations, and discussions that could reshape the war. You can imagine President Zelensky during those hours, sitting on edge, desperate to know what was being said. And then suddenly, Trump breaks the silence. On his Truth Social account, he declares that the meeting was very, very productive, with results already on the ground, and that we will be meeting soon. Meeting who? Meeting where? He didn't say, but his words carried weight. Russia's response, however, was far more cautious. Not from the Kremlin's press secretary, but from Yuri Ushakov, Putin's advisor on foreign affairs. He spoke of indicators and progress, but refused to give details. He made it clear, no further information until Witkoff returns to Washington to brief Trump directly. Why this careful language? Because Russia wants to appear open to peace in the eyes of both America and Europe, but without looking to its own people, like it's bowing to US pressure. This is diplomacy from a position of strength, not weakness. And now all signs point to a possible meeting between Trump and Putin, potentially as soon as next week. The location? Not confirmed, but sources suggest there's a high chance it could take place in the United Arab Emirates. Interestingly, UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed is already hosting high-level visitors, but his current meetings are officially described as pre-planned. Still, for Zelensky, this is a nightmare scenario. Trump and Putin sitting down without him in the room. Remember, this is the man who once stood up to Trump directly, who built his image as Ukraine's defiant leader. To be sidelined now? Unthinkable. In the last 24 hours alone, Zelensky has been on a whirlwind of calls, with Germany's Chancellor, France's President Macron, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, NATO officials, and numerous European leaders. The message is clear. I must be at that table. The US is even pushing for a 3-way meeting to ensure Ukraine isn't left out. But Russia? A flat refusal. They insist, if there's to be a meeting, it will be on their terms. And while this diplomatic chess game is unfolding, the battlefield tells a completely different story. Ukrainian forces have struck hard, using drones to destroy a Russian landing craft, knocking out 3 radar systems in Crimea, and even hitting a second oil refinery deep inside Russia. In total, Russia claims to have intercepted 82 Ukrainian drones in just the past day. The fighting is brutal. In the city of Bakhmut's outskirts, there have been 44 armed clashes in just 24 hours, nearly one every 45 minutes. We're talking about motorcycle assaults, armoured vehicles, tanks, snipers, and drones, all in constant motion. The front lines in places like Chasiv Yar, Torska, Kupiansk, and Lyman remain hot, with Russia making incremental gains according to Western war monitors. And then comes the twist. Bloomberg and other outlets report that Putin may be preparing to propose an aerial ceasefire in his meeting with Trump. A clever move. Why? Because Ukraine's main recent strikes against Russia have been aerial. What's unfolding right now could reshape not just the Russia-Ukraine war, but the balance of power between East and West. A secretive meeting, high-stakes negotiations, and a battle for who gets a seat at the table, all while the fighting on the ground rages on. Will this end with peace, or with a deal struck behind closed doors that leaves one side shut out? We'll be watching every move and bringing you the truth behind the headlines. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon and share this video, because the next update might change everything.